Occasionally, people will suggest that the running boom started in the 70s is starting to wane. Well, all those naysayers need to do is come to Austin, to the Motorola Austin Marathon, and they'll see a relatively new race that's growing by dramatic numbers every year. And earlier this morning, I got a chance to talk to one of the founders of the running boom, Bill Rogers, about why this race is growing so well.
I think marathons are a kind of a way for a city to have a big-time professional sports event on a budget that isn't as big as many big-time sports events, you know. And it's also a way for a community to pull together, people to get fit. You've got students here. The Students Run for Austin program developing. You've got older people running, and everyone's out here. 1,000 volunteers here, one for every 4 runners. That's what makes our race, what makes our sport, and it makes the races within it.
Well, it sure doesn't hurt to have great running weather either. It was cool, low 50s, clear with not bad humidity. Over 4,000 runners were lining up for the start, a 20% increase over last year. Along the front row was defending champion Doug Curtis, a man who's won 38 marathons and has run a world record 76 marathons under 2 hours and 20 minutes. The women's 1994 champion was back as well, Irina Bondarchuk, who last year won over Roxy Erickson in one of the closest marathon finishes you'll ever see. Bondarchuk had never led until the final 3 steps to the tape. Roxy Erickson was back this year to make amends for last year's disappointment. The starters were divided into 2 groups, those running the full marathon on the left and the relay runners on the right. One of the features that's helped foster the rapid growth of this race is the relay that allows for 2 or 5-person teams. So obviously, someone who's not ready to bite off 26 miles can ease into the concept by running a 13 or a 5-mile segment. Bill Rogers, in fact, would be running the second leg on a 2-person marathon team. The relays also created some participation with friendly competition between corporations and between divisions within Motorola and other local companies. Competition up front was not friendly at all. By 3 miles, the lead pack was pretty well established. A couple of the leaders were actually relay runners. You could tell them by the colored bib numbers and the batons they were carrying. The 26-milers had to be careful not to pace themselves off of someone who was only running a portion of the course. Number 34, Jose Iñiguez of San Antonio, was a recent winner of the San Antonio Marathon. 11:06 was Juan Palacios of Mexico. Number 6, Kenyan Sammy Rodich. Already a quarter of a mile back, 1994 champion Doug Curtis looked out of contention, but given his vast experience, one wondered if he was just being cagey. For the women, Irina Bondarchuk didn't opt for a come-from-behind strategy. She took the lead from the start, and the 42-year-old Russian looked like she might make a dull day of it. Only Andrea Radkovic-Bowman of Oklahoma seemed inclined to keep things interesting. Radkovic-Bowman was making a long, drawn-out comeback from Achilles tendon surgery in 1989, after which her doctor said she'd never run again. Well, we'll find out how she and everyone else did when we come back to the Motorola Austin Marathon. The 4 leaders stayed together through 8 miles of the Motorola Austin Marathon. After a sub 5 minutes per mile pace for the first 3 miles, they settled into about a 5:10 pace. The main aggressor was number 1243, Andrzej Witczak, who's been training with Eddie Hellebuck in New Mexico. The 36-year-old Polish runner is a veteran of 35 marathons, but unknown in this country. Number 34, Jose Iñiguez, and number 6, Sammy Rodich, covered this move easily. It was 30 seconds back to 1992 champion Alberto Puente. Puente, who was 3rd last year, was bothered by stomach cramps and was losing ground rapidly. The women's race was turning into a surprise as Andrea Radkovic-Bowman, number 16, had come up to join leader Irina Bondarchuk, number 2. Bondarchuk had been the top master at the Houston Marathon in January. Radkovic-Bowman had run that race but suffered a stress fracture afterward. In 3rd, last year's runner-up Roxy Erickson was struggling to stay anywhere close to the front. Big crowds gathered along the course wherever there was a relay exchange point. The enthusiasm and support at these junctures was a reflection of the excitement this race has generated since its inception 4 years ago.
We really like it. I mean, we have not only our own employees, we have the whole community here in Austin. We have a lot of our customers and our vendors come in and participate with us. It's just been one of those events that we're very happy that we sponsored. The number of people who have taken up running of our own employees that I know about in our facility has been phenomenal. We probably have several thousand people who today run who didn't run a few years ago.
Andre Wietzak was one non-Motorola employee threatening to run away with the race as the men approached the halfway point. Pretty much out of contention now, defending champion Doug Curtis was struggling. He'd just run a marathon in Fort Worth 8 days earlier. Alberto Puente, number 7, had run through his stomach cramps, but was out of the race for first. As the course looped through the city of Austin, the women's race had taken a dramatic turn. Ratkovic Bowman, nicknamed Rat, had surged to a 100-meter lead over Irina Bondarchuk. The 28-year-old was trying to overcome a long history of injuries to find the winner's circle, but there were still 13 miles to go. The freshest-looking legs in the field belonged to 47-year-old Boston Billy Rogers, who's won the Boston and New York marathons 4 times each. He was just starting his half of a 2-person relay team. This was not Bill's relay partner, just one of the enthusiastic volunteers. Up front, Juan Palacios of Mexico decided at 18 miles to shake up the men's race. His surge destroyed the foursome that had run together from the start. Only Jose Iñiguez remained in contact with Palacios, and Iñiguez was more than 100 meters back. But Iñiguez steadily tracked down Palacios. By 22 miles, the two men were running together, but not for long. The Mexican-born Iñiguez went past. His goal here was to qualify for the U.S. Olympic trials. By then, he hopes to be an American citizen and represent America in the Atlanta Olympic Games. Behind the leaders, number 14, Arkady Nikinin of Russia, took over third as Andre Wietzak, one-time pace setter, was reduced to a walk. Palacios, however, did not give up. For the final 4 miles, he stayed within striking distance, but the 28-year-old Jose Iñiguez was too strong down the stretch and held on for a new course record. Afterwards, Iñiguez was justifiably proud of his effort.
I'm very happy I was able to do it, and I didn't panic. A lot of people thought that I was in trouble when he was 100 yards of me, but I didn't panic. So I was able to come through and win this race.
Palacios finished 14 seconds back. Andrea Ratkovic-Bowman, who had been told by her doctor 6 years earlier that she'd never run again, was finishing off a tremendously gutsy effort. Fighting the pain of a large blister on her foot, she never gave Irina Bondarchuk a chance to get back into the race. Her first marathon win was a big chapter in a great comeback story.
I really didn't want to pass Irina so early because, golly, she's strong, but I went ahead and made my move at 8 miles and just kept consistent and hooked it in 3 miles out to make sure I had it wrapped up.
So Jose Iñiguez qualifies for the U.S. Olympic trials, assuming he's successful in gaining American citizenship. And Irina Bondarchuk finishes second behind a talented and courageous Andrea Ratkovic-Bowman. Roxy Erickson was third.